Okay, so what we have here is the start of our cold brew company. So Jason and I have been working behind the scenes the past couple months on this, and then we're gonna first release our 2 cold brews, which is one traditional, and then there's one that's seasonal, more bold. June 10th at the powerlifting seminar. So we got our kegerator here where we can fit 2 5-gallon things of cold brew. We got 2 taps. Show you what else we got. Okay, then in here we have 4 5-gallon kegs. So we're gonna get these filled with cold brew. We're gonna have this one cold brew all the time on tap here at the gym. And this baby right here, this is a money maker. This is our nitrogen keg. So we have nitro cold brew. And then I stopped at home and throw a salad. So I went to college for nutrition, but I had a business minor. When I was in college, in my business classes, it taught me nothing about actually building and running a successful company. Nothing. You learn the principles and the theories of business, but not actually building and scaling a company. So when I first built BPN, I completely ignored the whole buzz building and brand awareness phase. It just didn't happen. That's why it took years for BPN to become successful and just launch off the ground. All the things I did wrong with BPN are things that I'm doing right with this cold brew company. So just a kegerator and a few kegs might seem like such a small and minuscule part of building a business, but it's part of that buzz building phase, which is essential. So this Sunday, I was given the opportunity to do my first keynote speaking event in Dallas, Texas at the Raider Project. So I'm speaking on behalf of entrepreneurs transitioning out of the military. I have 45 minutes to give a speech. I've been thinking all day of what I want to talk about. And I think the best way to go about it is telling my story with stories of the struggle of running a business and scaling a business while having a full-time job, while being on active duty, while being gone all the time. So I'm going back into Austin right now to kind of plan that out because I just wanted to be right. I wanted to be perfect. This morning I had an all new low in, which blows my mind because this past weekend I had 2 free meals and I was going to transition out of the cut. But what I decided to do is I'm going to stay on these cutting macros and just be more flexible. So I was 204 this week, or 204 this morning. It's a pound lighter.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
Again, but Brandon Walls just texted me. He was like, hey, do you want to do a photo shoot next Thursday? The same very talented photographer that I worked with 2 weeks ago with the water shoot. So now I got to dig a little deeper, get a little slimmer, a little cutter for this photo shoot. A whole pound lighter than my lowest weigh-in after a whole lot of flexibility this weekend. Crazy. All right, here we go. 2-cup egg white omelet. Yeah, oh, kind of burnt. Eat the eggs right out of the pan. What's that? Okay, last step. Oatmeal, Walden Farm syrup, a little bit in there. Some cinnamon, like so. And then, to top it all off, fat-free Ready Whip. So I just had a conversation with a guy, the sugar caddy, or the sweetener caddy, when I was leaving for a solid 2 minutes until I realized that he was on Bluetooth talking to someone else that entire time. So last night I came up with a list of topics that I want to touch on in this speech this weekend in Dallas. And the way I'm going to do it, and the reason I decided to do story, through stories, is because I believe storytelling has a very powerful way to approach a message or a concept or an idea. Talking about my experience before the military, while in the military, and then after the military, because my audience is people that have either transitioned out of the military already or are in the process of. So I'm going to tell my whole process of building a business, sustaining, failing, struggling, succeeding, and then trying to get all these these values and lessons learned across. I think it's the best way to do it. It's very engaging, it's fun, and it's also testing week. So I'm starting my 12-week program that I have on my site, the Nick Bear Fitness site. Free 12-week program, which is like strength-based, hypertrophy-based. But before going into that program, you need to know your 1 rep max on bench, squat, and deadlift. So yesterday I did bench, I hit 365. Today is testing for deadlift, so we're going to do a 1 rep max or working up to. That way I have like my numbers for percentages based off of that 1 rep max for the rest of the program. So we'll see what we get. All right, so first attempt is gonna be 635. So I need my PR song. It's not gonna be a PR. My PR is 700, but after losing 25 pounds, strength on the deadlift has definitely taken a hit. Okay, attempt 2. This will be my final attempt. 650. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 45s, a 25, a 5, and a 2.5. Dude, that was a grinder.
That was nice.
So you know what probably the most interesting part of giving this speech on Sunday is? That like my icebreaker or my initial like presentation point is going to be that the previous day was my ETS date. So on Saturday, May 20th is my official ETS date out of the military. The 21st is when I give the speech because I'm on terminal leave right now. I had 40 days of terminal leave saved up, which is leave. It's paid leave that I had accrued over my whole time on active duty. That's crazy. Like the next day after getting out of the military officially, I'm doing this speech. So if you guys can find these in your grocery store, I used to eat these when I was in Korea all the time. So it's just roasted like seaweed, like little sheets pretty much. So a whole pack of this is 60 calories, and I'll do like half a pack. What I do is I use these, and then I use the rice. I make like a rice, chicken, egg white taco, using these as like the almost essentially like the tortilla. Dude. Mom. Hey, what's up? Mom.
Hi, honey.
Hey, what's up?
What are you doing?
I'm eating rice, chicken, egg whites, and seaweed.
Oh, yum. Where at?
My house. So I'm trying to like collect all these thoughts in my head that I've gathered and kind of executed over the past like 4 years. And one of the big things I want to touch on in this speech is like visualizing something, having the vision, and then executing or acting on that vision. And I think the best example I can give, or the best story I'm going to give on Sunday, is like when I was a Ranger School Recycle for 6 weeks, we spent a lot of time just sitting in the bunks. Like they wouldn't let us work out because it was a luxury. So we would go to the chow hall, we would do all of our details, which was usually stupid stuff because it was for best ranger competition, but 6 weeks of a lot of downtime waiting to go back into cycle. And I would sit there like in my bunk, and I had like these notepads filled with just notes like of visions that I wanted to do with BPN, because BPN was still a baby at that point. It was in like the growth phase, but I didn't have any resources to bounce ideas off of or do any further in-depth like reading or pull data and look what other people are doing. All I had were all these Ranger School Recycles around me, so I would just write visions down, like things that would pop in my head. So visualizing something is an absolutely necessary step before you act on it.
You did it like this.
So kegs are being cleaned to prepare to load cold brew for the cold brewing. So this afternoon I'm booking a trip to LA. I'm leaving for LA May 31st to June 4th. Just go down there to collab with people to kind of just. I've never been to California. The only time I've been to California is for NTC, and I spent the whole time in the desert. So I'm going out there, making moves. It's kind of like we throw these wristbands in with all of our orders. Move in silence. So make moves, but move in silence.